Hey everyone, and welcome back to Travels in Tranquility. I'm Lauren.
And Devin.
We're in this little mini series of 3 videos where we're rewatching our Iceland travel vlogs and doing some video commentary.
Yeah.
So if you didn't check out the last one that came out last week, probably, I'll make sure to leave them linked in the description box. I'll probably just link our Iceland playlist because that's probably where I'll put these videos. So I'll make sure that's linked so that you can go back and check them out on their own or whatever. I'm really excited about this one. This was the one that kind of made me really want to do this rewatch kind of thing, was because of this video. Because it's kind of a relatively short video. It's 25 minutes, but it was such an incredible day.
It encompasses so much of why we went to Iceland in the first place. And even though it was just a day, I mean, it was this is probably, this and a few other things, but primarily this is really the memories that stick out in my head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we were there for 2 weeks, we talked about in the last trip, or last video, but yeah.
This was probably one of our favorite days.
100%.
I will say.
Yeah.
Of the whole trip, this was absolutely incredible. So this was a day trip that we did during the first part of our trip when we were staying in Reykjavik. So we went from Reykjavik and we basically just went along the southern coast. So a lot of people that do Iceland trips, they do what's called the ring road, which is essentially driving the entire...
You circumnavigate
the entire Iceland. And a lot of people do it in camper vans. And those are really cool videos. Highly recommend checking out some of those videos.
You can do it if you stop and see stuff, you can do it in about 6 days.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they usually recommend at least 7 days to do the ring road. But you can take as long as you want. Mm-hmm. You know, it just depends on what activities you want to do, where you want to stop.
Right.
So this was our version of that. We did maybe about a fourth of the ring road with this trip. We went from Reykjavik all the way down to Vik and then back. And Vik is kind of sort of in the middle of the southern half of Iceland.
Yeah.
Just about.
Great trip. Super cool.
Yeah.
Can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, I know. Let's get started. And I want to point out the beginning of this intro clip that we have in all of our first videos. This is from this day. This is the first...
The Seljalandsfoss.
Yeah. This is a waterfall in Iceland that Devin's at right now.
And I'm Lauren.
Not that though. That's the friends experience.
This is another... And that's Iceland too. A lot of that footage was Iceland.
That's the diamond circle. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, it's a separate video. It'll be part 3.
So this was driving. You had to go down and then come back up in the very early morning. Mm-hmm. The fog wasn't there in the afternoon, but it was interesting to see this.
It was really interesting to see. That was all this fog, but it's so open and vast past the fog. This was our only bad weather too on this trip. If you could even call it bad weather.
Yeah.
So I don't think it might have sprinkled.
Oh, my penguin shirt. I like that shirt. You were very concerned we were lost that whole morning. I remember that.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have filmed at this moment when we were trying to figure out which road we needed to take. Because you're just going on the main road and then you have to get off on these dirt gravel roads. Yeah. And you're like, is this right? Am I allowed to drive here? Am I not allowed to drive here? Trying to figure out the flow of traffic and everything, and then where we park, And
it didn't help. We rented a Nissan Micra, and the suspension on that car was god awful.
Yeah, you could feel horrible. Every bump.
The trip to and from Husavik, it was like 7.
Well, it was just the part to see the rhino. That was the bad part because that was the gravel bit.
Right. Well, I just mean like that plus just being as long as we were on the road. The roads in Iceland are amazing, the paved roads, but you just feel everything.
Yeah.
It's a terrible car.
Yeah. This is a really iconic waterfall. Like we were just saying, this is a waterfall where you can literally walk behind it. You can kind of hike around it.
Yeah.
And it's really popular. It's gotten even more popular now where there are like lines of people.
The top of Everest. There's just a line of people.
Yeah. When we went, you could see there's definitely a crowd, but it was not that bad. It is so bad now. So Iceland is having a big insurgence of people.
It's really bad. I've seen some recent videos of it. Mm-hmm. So we may never be able to, unless they put restrictions on it, we may never be able to see it like this again.
Yeah.
Which is a little sad.
It is a little sad. So today we did better. We didn't wear all of our wet weather stuff to begin with. We would like change at the car. I remember I wore like my long johns, like my long underwear and like a baggy sweater. Mm-hmm. And then at every stop I would get into my wet weather pants and my big puffy jacket. And you would put on like your big puffy jacket. We would change our shoes into like our big hiking shoes. So we were basically like changing in the parking lot.
We did it like 4 times.
Each one of these places. And it honestly kind of worked out. That was probably the best situation. Yeah. So that we weren't in the car uncomfortable in all these clothes, but we could get in them because you need them, obviously, to do something like this.
Right. For Seljalandsfoss and for Skogafoss, and I guess for Gljufrabui as well, like, I mean, you have to have waterproof clothes for that because unless you just want to be wet the rest of your day.
Right.
It's deceptively damp.
Yeah. Well, you're walking behind a waterfall, so everything is wet and you're getting sprayed with, with the water from the waterfall.
So much fun, though.
Yeah. This was another moment where I was like, oh my God, I'm here. Like another really proud moment of like, this is incredible. And I was using my little vlogging camera. I was a little worried it was going to get soaking wet. You could see how wet we were.
Right. And we had barely gotten in. You got to get your Disney joke in there.
Yeah.
Everything's soaking wet. I can't put my camera out for very long.
Oh, I forgot I went down there.
Yeah. I was too afraid for it. But you didn't see it.
We got a couple. I think we got a couple of photos, but
yeah, you could go down like to where the waterfall was, like the bottom part of the waterfall, and like just be down there where like kind of this. I don't know what. It's not a lake necessarily. But
it's just like a little reservoir where the waterfall hits. Yeah, it's very cool. It was so cold. Because it's all glacier water coming off of these falls. Mm-hmm. So even though it was a beautiful day, it was freezing back there.
Yeah, it was really cold. And just you can see at the edge of this clip, like the staircase and stuff that we were walking down, everything is so wet and just slick. And we also had to like climb up rocks and stuff like that. So we had mud everywhere. Yeah, I was glad that we were able to like change.
We did a good job this day. Yeah.
So look at those things.
Gljufrabui, honestly, I think may have been my favorite stop of this pair. Mm-hmm. Just because you had to like climb through this little crevasse in the mountain, and then in the back of this cave was just this enormous boulder.
Yeah, and it
was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous, and it was kind of lesser known of a waterfall at the time that we were there. It wasn't as big of a stop for people as Seljalandsfoss was. So there weren't as many people by that one. And again, now it is insane. There's like lines
it's
of
like
people
a Disney
trying
queue.
to get in there.
Yeah, it's awful.
And it's really messy.
Seljalandsfoss. I can say it when I'm not on camera, but then I get really nervous about it. Mispronouncing things. It was freaking damp. Oh my God. Super glad we had the jacket and the boots and the pants. The boots, man, these boots suck. But like yesterday they were too much, but it was like perfect.
Like they were just really heavy.
Yeah.
They were really heavy boots and thick.
So if you go the traditional route, you have to like hike back up to these like slippery rocks. It's insane. I want to show you this. Are you sure it's not just a sprinkler?
And all the wildflowers.
Yeah.
This is just so much water. Everything's so green.
Today, not necessary on the Golden Circle, but very necessary for this waterfall. And the next one, that it's like in like a little cave, and you're basically like under it.
The meadow that we're in is one of the prettiest places I think we've ever traveled to.
Little path, which is beautiful.
Even with the midges.
And like being soaking wet.
Yeah.
And this beautiful field with all these really pretty flowers. So,
It was very windy. This is the walk. So it's probably like a 10-minute walk from one waterfall to the other. Really easy and manageable, but because this one's kind of hidden, because it is literally in like a cave, it wasn't like as well known or as sought out as the other ones. Because you can see all these waterfalls on the side, right? And walking behind the other one. But yeah, Gljufrabui wasn't a big deal at the time. So that's kind of the top of it up there. But then you walk in, yeah, so you can see it right here. So we have to go in that cave. So you have this mat and then it ends and then you're just in mud and rock.
Yeah, and so you either have to walk through you have to wade through the water, or you have to step on the rocks to like skip your way around.
You're gonna get soaked.
Yeah. There's no way around it.
But look at this.
It's so worth it.
That's incredible.
Where else are you gonna do this? This
Nowhere.
is insane.
And we were there at the same time as like this other couple. And so we were kind of taking turns getting photos. You could see him behind me getting photos.
Yeah, but we got up on the rock at one point too. It was really cool. We got a lot of really good photos.
No, I don't think we have any of those photos in the video. Or maybe I'm going to say them now. But they're some of my favorite photos we've ever taken anywhere.
Yeah.
They were so incredible. Let me see if I can find them.
But what's really, honestly, what's sad for me is that you can't, like you saw, we just walked right in and there was just one other couple. They're amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that anymore. It's like a Disney queue. And
it makes it less magical.
So you have, I mean, if you look up Gljufrabui on TikTok.
So cool.
For any videos from like just the last month or so, and you're just gonna see it's just a line out into that field that we were walking, and it's so sad.
It is sad. It makes it less magical.
Right.
It just does. I've seen other people do. So in the summer, Iceland is super north, right? In terms of the earth. So it gets the midnight sun. So it's daylight basically 24 hours a day, especially if you're going around like summer solstice time.
Right.
So I have seen people do like from America that will go and will just stick to the same schedule. That will just be up from, like 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. or whatever. Like that's their day.
Right.
And they'll just sleep then during the day when everybody's out and about so that they can have less crowds at places like this because it's nature. Like it's not, and
you
don't have to necessarily pay to go to these places. Some places you have to pay for parking.
But you can do it there for like a kiosk or whatever. But
or there's like a little lock box where you put your money or something like that.
And that makes sense. I mean, I can see how that would be doable because while we were there for the majority of the time we were there, if not the whole time, like we only had like 2 hours of twilight the entire time we were there.
So you can go and see all these incredible waterfalls with a lot less people, which I thought was a really interesting way to do the trip. Probably would have stressed me out, but it would have been really cool. Maybe I'll put photos.
Those two waterfalls were, there's another waterfall.
We did that the whole day. Oh, look, another waterfall.
Drive.
And look at those cliffs and those mountains.
But it's beautiful. It crashes down.
We live in a mountainous area, and our mountains do not look like that. They're so different.
We have geologically very similar with volcano, glacier lakes, waterfalls, but with still nothing looks like this. We just have pine trees.
Yeah.
It's not that far, but it is like farther than it probably seems like on video. Because I feel like we were thinking it was a lot closer based on the videos that we watched. So that's just the magic of videos on YouTube.
It's true. There's another waterfall. Eventually you get sick of it. You're like, oh, another waterfall.
We didn't get sick of it. We did that all day. Oh, look, another waterfall.
Yeah, you need boots.
But they're slippery, and if you don't have the best balance, you're gonna fall into the water.
It's me. Yeah.
Because of that. We do have like other socks, but it's a whole big thing. I recommend big boots and that sort of thing. But it was well worth it. It was really amazing. So now it's about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, like Gljufrabui was so cool. So you walk in and you're like, it's kind of like a overhang, right? So you don't see the waterfall at first, right? Yeah. So you're walking and you're like, what is this? What are we doing? And then you get in and it's this giant waterfall coming down. The sun is like peeking through this hole at the top, but it's still really covered. And it's like, oh, right? You hear these angels singing.
You've got that massive boulder that you can climb on to really experience it. It was honestly like magical.
It was magical. And again, you're like feeling it. It's so loud and you're getting soaked the entire time. And yeah, just getting up on that rock and getting even closer to it and just kind of like looking up at it like, whoa, like this is nature. Like this is living. Like it was so cool.
Completely indescribable. You have to do it.
I know. Oh my God.
And
if I recommend any one place to anybody, like it's definitely Iceland.
Oh, my coworkers are so tired of hearing me talk about Iceland. Like, it's
oh, so pretty.
We're headed on to the next waterfall that we want to see. We're still following the ring road south towards. We're not taking the ring road any farther than today.
I was saying, they said all this already.
But we're going to go to the next waterfall, which is called Seljalandsfoss, which is one that I can easily pronounce. And this waterfall was featured in 2 of our favorite movies. One is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, when he's towards the end of the movie when he's preparing for his.
Watch that movie, seriously.
One of our favorite movies.
Second one, or just in the Himalayas. Yeah. And so there's not actually in the Himalayas, it's just in Iceland. And then the second movie is Eurovision. It features in their music video kind of thing at the very beginning of the movie, the Volcano Man song. Oh, I should have worn my shirt. That's okay. So that's where we're going next. We're really excited about this one. You don't walk behind it or anything. You just walk to it and it's there and it's beautiful. So we're excited about that. It's about a half-hour drive. So we'll see you there.
So with this one, we don't. There's another part to it that we don't do, where
you can
climb up the entire mountain and look at it from an overhang, but we stay down at the base end.
Yeah, we decided looking at it, it just didn't seem like something we wanted to do.
It's a straight hike up.
You can kind of see it. Yeah. That this part right here is what we're talking about. I hope you can see the cursor in the video, but that's the path that you take. Yeah, it's stairs and everything.
If you can't see the cursor, it's dead center in the screen. It's that winding path up that mountain.
Yeah.
It's a lot taller than it looks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if we get any shots of it later. But yeah,
I think we do.
2 movies like we talked about in our last rewatch video, that's why we're here. Like those two movies, especially Eurovision, because that came out during the pandemic. It was like July 4th, 2020. That movie came out on Netflix, and we watched it and fell in love. And then I think we immediately watched it again. Like we watched it back to back.
The first week it came out, we watched it, I think, probably 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, we absolutely loved it, and we're like, we have to go there. Like in the movie, if you haven't seen it, it's Will Ferrell and Rachel Adams. They're McAdams, sorry. And they're from Husavik, and they want to enter the Eurovision Song Contest. That's where the movie name comes from. And if you don't know, Eurovision is this big international music contest that is done by basically the whole world except for us. Cool. And they host it every year. You know, a country hosts it, and they get competitions, and it's a big deal, right? If you're not an American viewer of our videos, you know Eurovision, and it's a big deal. Some
of the funnest music and funnest bands and funnest performers in the entire world.
ABBA has performed in it.
ABBA was a winner of the Eurovision Song Contest. Yeah.
So they are from a small town, Husavik, in Iceland, and they want to enter the Eurovision Song Contest. That's like their dream. And they get a chance to be in it. And it's such a funny movie. But there's this song at the end that Rachel McAdams' character writes, and it's about her hometown, and it's just called Husavik. It's a beautiful song. I wish we could play it for you because it's just a gorgeous song. And I think it was that song and like those feelings about Husavik. I was like, oh my God, I want to go there. I want to go where the whales can dance because they're gentle people, and where the seagulls fly. Like, it's the lyrics. I was like, I want to be there where those lyrics are.
Well, and then it was up for Best Song at the Academy Awards the following year, and they actually had the woman who sang it because Rachel McAdams' singing was dubbed over.
Yeah, she's not singing. Will Ferrell is singing.
They had the woman who sang the song perform in Husavik.
Yeah, because she's Icelandic.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it was so cool. It was so beautiful. It blew our minds completely, and we had to go.
Yeah. And it was cool, like, going to Skogafoss. It's a filming location for these two movies that we loved, and these two movies that were like, oh my God, we have to be there.
And it's barely in both of the movies, but it's still just one of those iconic places that is filmed in a lot of places, or in a lot of movies. You don't ever think about going to these places.
No,
but we did.
Yeah. I think it's funny going into this parking lot at Skogafoss. We hit Skogafoss like midday. It was probably 11 or noon. So it was really crowded at Skogafoss. It was the most crowded waterfall. And you could see all these camper vans.
Yeah, for people who had parked overnight and were just like getting ready to clean up their stuff and go.
Yeah, because it was also a campground. So these are the people that are doing the camper van experience of the entire ring.
Right, yeah. On the driving bits, you're going to see a lot of vans.
Yeah.
And that's them.
You can see how full the parking lot was.
It's really crowded.
But most of these people went up the path, which was nice.
And they didn't go as far as we did. You can see most of them are staying here in this sunny bit where it's not wet.
We went straight into it.
Yeah.
Why not?
We were in our weatherproof stuff. Like, we had brought it. It's like, why not go where nobody's there and we can take really cool photos?
I'm not going to fly all the way to Iceland and be like, ugh, it's too wet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
GD waterfall.
See, nobody was up here.
Bikini and my glasses.
They're getting soaked.
So the farther out we went, there were less people. But
Double rainbows.
All back there. Nobody wants to get right in the water.
I was plugging our TikTok channel.
Yeah. That's probably one of our first TikTok videos from the thing. Skogafoss was really cool too.
Yeah.
I also highly recommend getting a brightly colored jacket.
It makes you pop in the photos.
It makes you
It's
pop
so
in the photos. So my pink jacket that I'm wearing, I just got it off of Amazon. I had seen like some other YouTube channel or whatever. This woman wore like a brightly colored jacket, and I'm like, whoa, you can really see her in the photos. That's so cool. So I got one, and at first I was really self-conscious and like a little embarrassed.
It's
like
very bright.
It's like Pepto-Bismol bright. But I pop in all the photos. You can see me, and you know that it's me. Even when Devin is like way up on the cliff, and I'm like way down at the bottom of something.
We took a lot of landscape, like panorama photos and stuff too. Of like Lauren was saying, like I was way far away. I'm like, you know exactly where Lauren is. It's so cool. It makes her stand out from the background.
Yeah,
totally worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Highly recommend it. I almost wish we had one for you because you were wearing like your ski jacket kind of thing, and it was black and gray, and so you kind of blend in with some of the rocks. But I highly recommend it because you can see me.
On the days when
I'm
wearing my red sweater, it's better.
Yeah. Or just any sweater. Like I think you're wearing a green sweater now, and you could see yourself a little bit more against like the waterfall background at least, and at the black beach where we're going.
This was my favorite drive, like section of driving from the trip. Because you come out and there's these two huge, like here you can see it, these huge mountainous vistas that are just in the middle of the ocean. And then you come up on this beach and it's so cool.
Yeah, we're still kind of far from it right now, but most of Iceland is just this 2-lane road.
Yeah.
It's never a problem though. Traffic or anything like that, I don't think was ever an issue. And we just ate lunch.
We may catch it going back, but on the way back to Reykjavik, the traffic coming the way we had just come was bad.
Definitely stopping at Bonus and getting like snacks or sandwich stuff or something like that. It's definitely safe for our butts. Because it's 11. I know that's really early. Don't make fun of us for eating lunch. We just eat lunch early. We eat breakfast at like 7, so it makes sense. Anyway, besides being defensive, yeah, it's definitely bad because it's not always like food.
Yeah, there's no McDonald's on the side of the road.
Big stretches of just nothing except nature and waterfalls.
Yeah. Like, legitimately, there maybe have been a cafe at Skogafoss, perhaps because it was a campground. But even then, I don't know if there was. So on this whole trip, there was nowhere that we could stop to eat, necessarily.
Right, and everything usually, like, if you're doing, like, quick stop stuff, because like Lauren was saying, there isn't McDonald's and stuff just on the side of the road. There's no drive-thrus. It's you have to either grab stuff like we're doing in a big city, which in Iceland there's only like 4. And just have it with you, or you're stopping at gas stations.
True.
And the gas station food is not what we're talking about here.
No,
in
it's
the
very
States.
different. It's like European gas stations where it's actual food.
Way
it's
different.
Like a cafe.
But like that's kind of your only options. And even those were fairly far between.
There's not a gas station on every corner either. I mean, you saw some of the driving footage.
Yeah, that's it. We're not kidding when we say that's it.
Which is nice. Because things are expensive.
Everything's expensive, but like what I was saying, the big thing is like the freedom that you can
When you need to. And so even though we're just in a rental car and we're staying in our hotel and everything, like we still found that beneficial. I don't think we thought we were going to need to do that.
No, we definitely didn't. We thought that was like a camper van thing.
It worked though. Got us through it.
It's been really helpful so far.
Also, pro tip for Doritos aficionados, there are a bunch of different flavors you can't get in America here. So our next bonus trip, I might get a bag of these sweet chili.
I did not do that.
No.
So, we blocked Skogafoss. It was really crowded there, but really cool. Like I was saying earlier, like when we got a lot closer to the water, there was less people. A lot of people were taking their photos like farther back, because they didn't want to get wet, which I totally get. But like if you go up, right up on it,
and nobody was there.
That's cool.
It's interesting, like we're saying, it was so crowded. It was so crowded. I wonder, like when you look at the video, when we look back at the videos, I'm not seeing that many people. I think it was that pandemic mindset we were still coming out of.
Maybe, yeah.
Of like, because we hadn't been around anybody in 2 years.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, this was our first trip post-pandemic, really.
Yeah.
Well, first big trip.
First
I think
big
we
trip,
went to
yeah.
Disneyland in Hawaii in 2021, but those were like their own beasts. Yeah, maybe.
Just kind of funny.
Well, and I think compared to Golden Circle, that other day trip we had done, compared to walking around Reykjavik, there were more people here than those previous days in Iceland. Like, besides Blue Lagoon, which was pretty crowded, we didn't see a ton of people most days. And so I think that's part of it. Because this is, like, what people come to Iceland for, are these, like, the ring road, you know? So sites off of the ring road just are naturally more crowded. No.
Reykjanes is back that way.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Reynisfjara.
Reykjanes is where it's the peninsula that the Keflavik airport's on.
Yeah.
Passing the glacier. I don't know.
It's the glacier.
Yeah, we saw there was a break in the valley here, and you saw the glacier. Like,
That's footage from our way back that I inserted here.
Yeah.
It's hard to film with Devin on that side of the car and you be on that side.
It's very cool.
But all of that is a glacier. And
It's a massive
that's where all of these
glacier.
waterfalls are coming from, and you can go up and hike and ski and
There's tunnels.
snowmobile and
Yeah.
all those things. That's something I want to do next time.
but it's been visible the whole time since we got to this valley.
Yeah.
So pretty.
That was a cool bonus because we're not like actively going to it, but we still get to see it and appreciate it, and maybe stop by the road and take some pictures at your point, so we can say we've been here. Otherwise, nobody will believe it.
If it's not on Instagram, it's not true. It didn't
Right.
happen.
Dunes, which I'm definitely bummed about, but they're just a lot farther than we were willing to go.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to go to this other beach.
Oh, the Diamond Beach.
Yeah. And they call it Diamond Beach because it's like another black sand kind of beach, but they call it Diamond Beach because there's all these little, like, ice, like glacier bits, glacier hunks. What are those called? Icebergs.
They wash up, and it makes everything sparkle like
Again,
like diamonds.
Something I want to do next time.
So cool.
Because we probably could have done it.
Yeah, we could have. I think we were just out of our element a little bit.
So we're
We had plenty of time.
Yeah. So this beach is kind of like right before Vik. Again, this looks a little crowded. There's
Decently
definitely
crowded.
a lot more people here.
This place was legitimately crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a little cafe there, I remember, because they had bathrooms. Oh, do you want to talk about that sign?
Yeah, so that sign it was upgraded right after we left, and now it's got actual like flashing lights and signals and stuff on it because people keep dying at this beach.
Yeah.
This is one of the most dangerous.
Very dangerous.
It's one of the most dangerous beaches in Europe. There's a riptide right off of this beach. And if the water gets you, it's going to suck you out and you're going to drown.
Yeah.
So like when you see
Don't survive.
When you see these warning signs, you need to believe them. Literally the week prior to us getting here, somebody had gotten sucked into the water because they turned their back on it and got washed away. And you see people on Instagram and TikTok and stuff all the time just taking all these risks when you can see the light in the background that is just like flashing red.
Yeah, you don't turn your back on the water at this beach at all, and you don't get
close to it
because it comes up surprisingly fast and forceful, and you just don't see it coming.
This is one of those things where if you get knocked off your feet and sucked out into the water, like Lauren said, you're not coming back.
You're not coming back.
So it's
really dangerous.
One of my biggest pet peeves is people not not paying attention to the signs and stuff that are in Iceland. Like, having spent as much time as we did there, those signs are there for a reason, and like this is pretty hardcore nature, and you're gonna die if you ignore some of these signs.
Yeah, you have to be really careful. But other than that, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful black sand beach. So you can see yourself, huh? That purple center. So pretty. There's like black sand and all this gravel, and then you can see the water.
And it was a decently calm day for the water, but you can
see it's getting higher than it did before, and you got to be really careful. A decent amount of people there.
Yeah. It was weirdly difficult to walk through this sand.
Yeah. It was. A little windy too.
Those pillars out in the, I think those were called the trolls. Is that what those were?
I don't know. We saw that in the Snæfellsnes Peninsula had the
Right.
trolls. I don't know. Oh, but just look at this. That's incredible.
Well, Hallgrímskirkja, the most famous church in Iceland, is built to resemble the stratification of the volcanic rock.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You saw some of those photos in our last rewatch. Look how pretty.
And no midges here, which was great.
Yeah. Beach was okay. We're talking, but
It was so windy.
it was very windy here. Anytime you're like in this open area, you know, it just gets super windy. Look how
Yeah, I mean,
pretty that is.
look at the water too. I mean, it's getting a little spicier.
Yeah.
This was one of my favorite stops.
Yeah, it was really
So
pretty.
good.
Just another iconic stop for sure.
Right.
This must be my vlogging camera.
I think so.
Well, the Boston Beach was very cool.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Rain is Fiara, by the way.
Reynisfjord.
You remembered, I didn't remember. But it is very popularly known as the Boston Beach. It's like a pretty famous one. Yeah, we probably stopped. We did good though, like, you know, it's just the magic of photography and videography to kind of take it without all the people in the back.
It's true. This trip was
It's like that Instagram versus
one of the first trips where we really had to practice getting photos and videos without other people in it.
hundreds of people. So we're making our
It's all about angles.
Yeah.
like our last stop. Really, this was the farthest thing we
You're very animated with your fingers.
Yeah, I am.
This was our
This
was our last stop.
There was a cool like viewing.
Oh yeah.
We didn't mention too. There's the church there.
Yeah, you can see
By the
it.
Black Sand Beach.
You can see it when we drove in, but
Yeah.
we stopped at that.
We did, yeah. I guess we didn't even film or talk about it, but it was really cool too. That's also a really famous church. It's in like a lot of photos of
It's because
Vik and stuff like that with the water and the black sand and stuff.
Yeah, it's got this vista behind
Yeah.
it. It's just very pretty.
On this long drive back to Reykjavik. But a good day trip, you know.
How many hours was it to Vik from Reykjavik? What, like 2, 3?
As a day trip.
Yeah, probably right around 3.
Along the ring road when you're camping or doing like Airbnb kind of style renting.
Wasn't that long.
But it's definitely doable as a day trip.
Yeah, because it's 12:30 now. We did it in about 7 hours.
You mean like by the time we got
Yeah,
back?
yeah, yeah.
There you go. Okay. We didn't wake up that early. Okay. Well, good day. Lots of fun things. Definitely saw a lot of those.
Did we get any of the video of us finding that?
Yeah, I think
hay
that's
thing?
what's in, because there's still like
Oh, okay.
3 minutes left. I think that's something that we stop and talk about. Or I put subtitles on at least.
And take a million photos. Yeah, they have some really
Oh, here you go.
That's not the same church, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. So we must have just left the Black Sand
Yeah,
Beach,
it was
I
like
guess.
we shut the doors and immediately started filming.
Okay. Well, that's
mean-
the church that I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, like you can see the background. Like,
Reynisfjord.
good lord,
That's Kirkja means church. Mm-hmm. In Icelandic.
it's very pretty.
Yeah. And I think part of that also means mountain, right? Because Kirkjafell is mountain.
Fell is fall.
No, Foss is fall.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah.
Waterfall. Whatever. It's been many years.
Most things.
We knew more of these things at the time.
Most things in Iceland are named after churches, mountains,
yeah.
or waterfalls.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of foss, fall, Kirkja.
So this was on our way back. I think I put up a subtitle of what this thing is called. But it's basically like a shed, like a storage shed.
It's built into the side of the mountain.
For farmers and stuff like that. And it's just, for some reason, they let you go in and look at it.
It's just
there you go.
A funny little thing. So this would have been, I think the reason they let people in is because it's old. So this would have been like an old Icelandic.
Yeah. It's not
structure.
used anymore. I was afraid.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So I think Devin goes in. I don't think I went in.
I was
creeped out.
I came in and dragged you in.
Did you?
Because
okay,
of what
maybe after you saw.
Because of what I found in the back, which was really fun.
This is where I hand off the camera to you. So yeah, they would store their hay and all that kind of stuff in this little shed to protect it from the elements.
Yeah.
So that's what most of that stuff is back there. But yeah, this leads straight into the mountain.
Into the mountain, yeah.
Honestly, kind of creepy.
A little creepy, yeah. I found these terrifying little troll people just in the back.
So we didn't mention that. Icelanders believe in trolls.
Elves and trolls. And, you didn't catch this here in the video because it's so windy, but Lauren was just screaming, sheep!
Because there's sheep on the other side there. I don't know if you can even see them. Maybe we zoom in, but those little dots are all sheep. And there's some by the fence there. They're just eating all the grass. So cute. Yeah, but they legitimately believe in those things. And
just nature spirits in general.
Yeah. It's mentioned a lot in Eurovision.
Hard to argue.
The elves went too far. It's one of our favorite lines from the Eurovision movie. So yeah, that was like their little honoring of those spirits.
They have little elf
they
shrines.
Do, yeah. They actually have them everywhere. I don't think we ever got photos of them because it felt kind of weird to take photos.
Yeah. But anytime in Icelandic literature, if you're there, if you see things listed as the Holdafolk, they don't call them elves, they call them the Holdafolk. They're the hidden folk, the hidden people.
Yeah.
And they live inside rocks and nature and trees. They're very cool mythology.
So a lot of people build little houses for them and they'll do offerings and stuff like that to them. It's really cool. Yeah. We saw some of them in Husavik when we stayed at like the little hostel hotel that was right next to the Eurovision Museum.
Husavik Cape Hotel.
Yeah, they had like recreated some from the movie because you see a bunch in the movie. Rachel McAdams, her character, believes in the elves.
Yeah.
And so, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm tired. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, anyway, good day. Probably one of our best days on the Iceland trip.
Seriously.
Was this day.
So
one
good.
Of our favorites. So I think we're going to do one more in this rewatching videos to get the last two videos that we have from our Iceland trip. And some of that is Husavik, so you'll definitely see more of that there. But thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out all of our Iceland videos and go to Iceland. That's our purpose here. Go to Iceland. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.